So, this is my third time trying to make this tutorial, and I've come to the conclusion that I'm not a very good teacher. This tutorial is for anyone out there learning, but specifically for my friend Gray. Hi Gray. So, instead of teaching, I'm going to make a small, quick drawing, and while I do it, I'm going to talk about what I'm doing and explain things. But okay, let's start. I'm not sure what I'm drawing yet. I'm doing this on the fly. But the first thing that I always do is change the background layer to a layer 0. And I always leave it blank, white, whatever, and I make a new layer, which is this button down here. I hope you can see it. I hope it's not like teeny tiny. You see it says create a new layer. Oh, that's out of the frame. Okay, well, that's what you click. Makes a new layer right up here, and if you want to name it, you can. We'll name this the sketch layer. Okay, and these little thingies you can turn on off and on. Like, for example, if I'm drawing something on the sketch layer, anything, I could just turn it off. And you can't even draw anymore. It's hidden. That's what it is. Thank you, Photoshop. Okay, I'm now using the eraser. Get rid of this thing. I could also do undo, which on Photoshop is Control-Alt-Z, not just Control-Z. It's a little different, but you get used to it really, really quickly. Okay, to sketch, what I do is I just take this solid brush right here. It's the 9-point brush, but it doesn't matter, like really, I just use the solid one. And I put the opacity down to about 25, whatever. Maybe less than that, 20, whatever, 19. Okay, and what this does is it makes it like forgiving, I guess. It's more like a pencil. Let's see, let's draw what I always draw. 3/4 face. Facing left. Probably a woman, because that's what I always draw, but it's okay. It's my thing. So yeah. See how it's like a little bit transparent, a little bit easier to go over mistakes, as opposed to like the opacity being all the way to 100. Then it's just like, whoa, it just turns into a big mess really quickly. So yeah, let me just sketch this real quick, and then we'll get back to the rest of my process. Okay, so very, very, very basic sketch done. I could, I guess, go straight into line work after this, but I'm going to make another layer, and I'm not going to name it anything because I'm going to merge it eventually into the sketch layer, and I'm just going to get a slightly darker color, and just kind of add more detail, or solidify exactly where I want the line work to be. And it still feels, I'm a traditional artist, at least when it comes to line work and stuff. I mean, I've worked digital for since I was 17 maybe, so it's been a while. I'm not completely new at this, but I don't do my line work. Oh, sorry about that. I don't do my line work digitally, and so sometimes I'm just not as great at it. Especially, you'll see, when it comes to line work, I'm still shaky, and it's a lot of the undo button a million times, but I've been told that that's a normal thing for every digital artist, so I don't feel that bad. But yeah, I'm drawing something very random here. Curly-haired pretty girl. And I don't know, maybe I'll add a flower or something. That'd be cute, right? Yeah, you can totally see that flower. Good job, self. But as you can see, it's easier. Maybe I'll do opacity a bit higher this time, and it's just a bit easier to correct mistakes and stuff when you're doing things on a lower opacity. That's an ugly flower, but I'm gonna leave it. Alright, let me finish this next sketch thing, and then I guess we'll start on the line work. Okay, I think I'll start on the line work, I guess. And this part takes forever. Oh, first let me merge these layers. This is what I do. I take off the layer 0, which is our background layer. So we're left with this. And then I go to, let's see if I can do it on the first try. Okay, layer. Oh, I did it. Yay. Merge visible. So all the visible layers, the ones with the little eyeball on it, will get merged. See? Easy peasy. Now, layer 2 will turn into outline. Oops, layer 1. I like to keep them named most of the time, especially if I know I'm going to work with a lot of layers. It's a good idea to name them. But sometimes I'm lazy, I'm not gonna lie. But that's when shit like drawing on the wrong layer for an hour happens, so yeah. Just know that it happens to everyone. Okay, make sure you're on the right layer, outline. Then I'm gonna get, I like lining in black. It's my thing. And then I'm going to zoom in. The keystrokes to zoom in is Control plus, the little plus right there next to the backspace. It's just Control plus, and you go in, and then Control minus or Control dash or underscore or whatever. Right next to the plus is back. Zoom out. See? So what I do is I zoom about there, and I get the same thick, solid line, and then to make it bigger or smaller, I forgot to mention that, the keystrokes are the, I don't know what these are called. I think I'll just add a picture here while I'm editing. So those are the bigger and smaller, and those three things, Control Alt Z for undo, the Control plus or Control minus to zoom in or out, and the make the brush bigger or smaller, those are the only keystrokes I really know and use all the time, so yeah, that's all the help I can offer there. But anyway, outlining takes forever, and you have to be patient, and oh, hang on. You have to make sure that you don't, like, okay, for example, if you go too slow on a stroke, it just ends up looking horrible and not too organic. See, it's bad. It's not good. So what I do is I use the eraser a lot when I do this, and the undo obviously, but start with something like this. Really quick strokes is what, and it's hard, I'm not gonna lie, it's hard, and it's annoying, it's a pain, but that's how I do it, and that's what looks best to me. So I'm gonna go ahead and line this. Okay, so line work is pretty much done. I don't want to mess this up. Alright, that looks okay. So yeah, and the moment of truth is when you do this. Ah! It always looks so bad. Sometimes I just end up leaving the sketch layer in there because it just adds so much more, I don't know, depth. It just looks nicer to me. But we'll talk about that later. For now, let's start on coloring. So there are lots of ways to color. This is what I do. If I want something simple, something quick, something pretty easy, I'm going to duplicate the outline layer. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and turn off the sketch layer. Working on the bottom outline layer, I'm gonna use the paint bucket tool right here, and let's see, skin color. Yeah. Okay. This is what I'm gonna do. I start with just the brush tool, opacity 100%, make sure it's on the solid line. The solid line brush stroke thing. And I'm just gonna outline where there are spaces. I'm sure if you've used Microsoft Paint, you know how this works. In fact, I'm going to take off the top outline copy because just so I can see what I'm doing on the bottom one. So now that these are, I think we're good here, except the eyes. Hang on. I'm just covering up all the little spaces that the paint bucket tool is going to get to. There we go. All right, and now the hair. Let's give her blue hair. Dark blue hair. And let's see. It takes a little bit of trial and error, but you kind of just have to catch all the little holes. I think we're good. Yep. And sometimes, here, I'll show you. You see how there's little white spots? I just go over them with the brush tool, and yes, that gets rid of the line work, but that's why we have an extra over here. See? Make sure you're working on the right layer. Always double check, triple check. Oops. Okay. And you just keep doing this. You keep color blocking everything. Ooh, I missed the flower. Let's make her flower bright red. Actually, no, I don't like that. Green. Green. Teal. Yeah. Alright. Alright. So sometimes you can just do this. Like color it in with your brush if you don't want to use the paint bucket tool, but the paint bucket tool is faster. Sometimes you just want to turn on the upper sketch or outline layer just to see what's going on. Make sure you're in the lines and stuff. Yep. And I tend to make the whites of the eyes not pure white, just because once I add the little shine at the end, it looks so much better when it's not just pure white. Maybe something like this. Just like that. And same thing for the teeth if I draw teeth. Let's give her ruby red lips. This is too bright. No, that's okay. Oh, her eyebrows. Whoops. Let's make them the same color. And just fix over the whites with the brush. And then her eyes, let's see. Give her brown eyes. And there you go, color blocking is done. If you want to be a perfectionist and zoom in and get all the little white things, then that's completely up to you. You can also just straight up do this for the eyes because, like I said, outline layer is still on top. So I'll just do that because symmetry. Okay. Okay, and this is where the fun part comes in. Fun and slightly complicated because you have to go back and forth between layers. So I'm taking the magic wand tool. Focus. There we go. The magic wand tool right there. And I'm going to select. I'll start with her skin. And that's all that's selected. And I'm going to make a new layer. I'm going to call it shading, and make sure you're working on the shading layer after you've selected from the outline layer. Oops, sometimes that happens, just exit out. Okay, so select from the outline layer, go back to the shading layer, get the color dropper tool. Hang on, is that what it's called? Use my mouse. The eyedropper tool. Okay, take the eyedropper tool, select your skin color, and grab something that would work for a shadow, for shading on her skin. I tend to make my colors a little rosy, and there are several things you can do here. Make sure, again, make sure you're working on the shading layer. One thing you can do, okay, I'm going to show you both ways. One thing you can do is get one of these fuzzier line brush strokes and make your brush really big and make the opacity, make the opacity 22. Yep, and adjust the size to whatever you want, and then you can just kind of give her some color. That's terrible. Of course, zoom in. Oh, and I think now would be a good time to just keep the outline copy on, just so you can see what's going on. So this is one way of doing it. It's softer. If you're really trying to get serious, this would be, oh, what's it called? Not the cast shadow, the form shadow? Hey, at least I learned something at art school, right? Unless I got that wrong, in which case, I don't care. And then you can always go over it with the smudge tool. Strength, I like it a little lower, like at 15. So if it's any harder than this, it's just, it does ugly things. And yeah, some people like really frown upon the smudge tool, but I mean, as long as you don't use it as a crutch, and hell, even if you do, who cares? It's your art. But yeah. Okay, so that's something. And now to add like cast shadows. Let's see. It's gonna make it a little darker, and I'm gonna go ahead and get the solid brush stroke, and yeah, opacity at the same, and just make the little cast shadows. some highlights as well. We can get our skin tone again, back to shading, something brighter, a little bit more yellow. And for highlights, I like to use a very big brush, and then get the fuzzy brush stroke, whichever one. Big brush again, because I'm dumb, and just do that. Yeah, okay. And pretty much you continue doing this whole thing with the hair, with her eyes, with her lips, with her flower. And yeah, I'm just going to speed through that because if we're getting into techniques and stuff, that would be just another video. This is supposed to be for learning Photoshop, so I hope I'm doing okay. But yeah, I'm going to speed this up. Okay, another basic thing that I do in almost every drawing is I'll change the colors a little bit, or sometimes this works for the line work if I'm scanning it. The curves adjustment. You go to Image, Adjustments, and Curves, and you get this thing. And here you can kind of adjust the colors. See? And just because I'm not going to use it in this drawing doesn't mean it's not super useful for other drawings. You never know. Always helps me. And another thing is the levels. Image, Adjustments, Levels. And it makes things darker and lighter or brighter, I don't know. It does something. And delete this. Outline copy. I'm gonna put an extra layer and just forgot to add the little shine. The little shine in her eye. I guess if you wanted to add a background, like the simplest thing you could think of, let's use this purple here. The gradient tool is your friend. So we're back down here to layer 0, which is the white. And if you want to just keep this absolutely blank, which is fine, it helps sometimes, you can do that. But I'm gonna draw right on it, or color. And you can add some stuff, some subtle shadows and stuff. If you can even see that, that's light. Let's see, let's add some purple. There we go. Simple, makes it look cute. What else? Oh, the sketch layer. Okay. The layer types. I'm putting the sketch way on top. That's what it looks like right now. And you can change the layer type to different things. That's dissolve. I never use dissolve, that's ugly. And so you can see it kind of makes it, I don't know, nicer, like a little sketch, a digital sketch. And I mean, there's different effects you can choose from. But I think that one, hang on, let's see. This one, linear burn, I like it. I like how it makes it look. There it is, and it's gone, and it's back. Doesn't it look a little better? Like, it adds a little something, right? That's what I love about the layer types. And yeah, I hope that this was helpful, and yeah, thanks for watching. Also, I'm pretty sure my neighbors are laughing at me. I mean, like, my window's open. I just hear laughing. That's embarrassing.